around somebody, so she just lays on the table on cords, on my fucking pens, on my notebook. Is it crazy? All right, here we go. All right, welcome everybody. This is the Marvel Madness Comics Podcast, episode number 28. This is Legacy Month number 2. So again, I am Brandon, as always, joined by my man Trevitt. Trevitt, how we doing?
Not bad. How you doing?
I'm in a state of football depression now. It is extended 2 weeks. I think I set a record in fantasy futility yesterday, so sometimes these holes take me a few days to get out of. So that's where I'm at right now mentally. But we're going to talk some comics here and put my mind at ease for a few hours at least. We're going to get into our mission statement here. We're going to tell you guys how to get a hold of us. Do we get any emails this week or no?
No emails this week.
No emails this week. Some people reaching out on Twitter. That was cool. Like I said, we're always there. We'll hit you back, either me or Trevitt. We both get access every once in a while to that account. But yeah, we'll get a hold of, we'll go over how to get a hold of us, what books we're reading, Trevitt's news section, Marvel, Midpoint Marvelous Facts, all the stuff you guys love. But yeah, we're going to start where we always start and tell you how we do things for the new people. Remind the longtime listeners, for those of you out there, shout out California, which has taken the state lead in our most downloads. But yeah, we're gonna get into things here. We have 4 books to cover in our Legacy Week 6 lineup as we continue to strive and fulfill our mission of providing you guys the ins and outs of the Marvel comic book universe. In between talking books, we chit-chat about some of Marvel's latest news, rumors, titles, characters, fun facts, and all that falls under the general going-ons of Earth Prime's umbrella, whatever that may be. We try to cover a variety of titles for you guys each month in an effort to avoid any repetitiveness and an attempt to keep things fresh and informative for you guys, our listeners. And for us, the hosts. The books are currently not divided into our beloved categories each week, which are usually Spider Family, IVX Family, and the Hero Family. We're still with our focus on the Legacy titles, like I've mentioned a couple times already. We'll probably do that through the end of December. I think that's kind of when the glut of Legacy stops coming out. But this week we got for you 4 new books. One's on its second Legacy issue. The others are brand new. The first one's going to be Daredevil, $5.95. The second one is the second Legacy issue of Gwenpool 22, but it's a good one to get the gist of what that character is all about if you're a Gwenpool newbie. Book 3 is Master of Kung Fu. What number is that? Do you know offhand? I didn't write that one down on the notes for some reason.
No, I did. I got it right here, actually.
128. Is that it?
Yes. No, 126. 126.
Oh, 126. I was close. All right.
Though.
And then yeah, that was better than my usual guesses, which are about 60 off. But then we go with Moon Knight 188. And I'm actually surprised Moon Knight's that high. I thought it would be a little lower, but regardless, that's the books coming to you guys today. And we cover those, as we always do, in our world famous format of buy, borrow, or forget it altogether. Buy means go buy that book now. Get the hard copy for yourself. Borrow means get the digital code from a friend, some sucker who bought a hard copy of it. Or forget it altogether means don't drop a dime on that book. Don't get the code. Forget it. Don't bother with it. There's nothing you need to know. Yeah, there's nothing. It's basically, fuck it altogether. Is what that's code for. But if you guys are looking to get a hold of us, now that we got you caught up with how we do things, there's a couple ways to do that, and that is on Twitter, and we're popping at Madness Marvel 1, and you can find us there. You can DM us things we'll read on air, or you can just shoot the shit with us about what you think about various books. Joe did get back to us this week on Twitter about the Friday business with the Power Pack spaceship, and as far as he knows, he's the Power Pack veteran. He says the Friday AI for Tony Suit and the Friday spaceship are 2 totally different things. So Tony didn't hack Friday and make it his own or anything like that. As far as the spaceship goes, like we tossed the idea around about last week. It's 2 separate entities.
I didn't think that anyway. But
Yeah.
But thanks
Yeah,
for the
I know. I just
clarification.
thought I wouldn't have been surprised, basically, is what I was kind of saying there, I guess. But yeah, if you're looking to email us, we had a few emailers last week who read them on air and discuss things. Again, anything you guys want to share with us, that's at Marvel Madness 0, and that's at gmail.com. Again, we'll read that on there. We'll discuss it. You want to shower us with praise, tell us what we can do better, or even bring up books that we haven't been covering. Yeah, that's where you do that. But now all that basic bitch stuff is covered and out of the way. We're going to move on to Trevitt's news section, and we'll be right back after the jingle.
Jingle, jingle.
Yep, there's the jingle, and we're back. Go ahead.
All right. So we actually got some news this week. How fucking great is that? I mean, I could have pulled something out of my ass, but it would have been dumb and pointless anyway. So first up, it was announced this week that there's going to be a new X-Men team book called X-Men Red. It's going to be written by Tom Taylor with art by Mahmoud SR. And it's going to be coming out on February 7th, 2018. The leader of this team is going to be adult Jean Grey, which makes me happy that Phoenix Resurrection is actually going to lead to something. And it's nice that after 14 years, the real Jean Grey is going to be back in action. Not that I don't love the young, dimensionally displaced one. She's cool, too. But it also makes me happy because Tom Taylor definitely deserves this book. His work on All New Wolverine is fantastic, and his Injustice 2 is incredible, so we know he's got the chops to handle a team. It was also announced that the team's going to have an all-new headquarters, uniforms, as well as some brand-new mutants, which, judging by what was revealed today, I haven't seen too many brand-new mutants, maybe one, but and a couple familiar ones. So 2 members of the team were officially announced today at the beginning of the day, and that's Namor the Submariner, which is pretty fucking awesome, and a Wakandan mutant from Craig Kyle and Christopher Yost's run on New X-Men named Gentle, and Nightcrawler and X-23 were on the cover. It was pretty fucking obvious. They weren't announced yet, but it's a fucking no-brainer. And Gabby's going to be on the team, too, from All New Wolverine. So there's literally, I think, 1 member that hasn't officially been announced. They said they're going to be dropping crumbs throughout the day, but that's pretty much the whole team with the exception of that 1 member, which I hope is Psylocke, but some people say North Star, so we'll see.
Who's North Star?
But that's cool.
Which one's North Star? Isn't that someone's brother or something?
North Star is, I think he's from Alpha Flight. I'm pretty sure. I'm not, maybe not. I could be wrong on this
you
one.
You might be right there. I confused North Star, Shatterstar, Long Shot. Like,
yeah.
All those dudes at me because I think Long Shot and Shatterstar almost look the same kind of to me, like their faces.
Yeah.
And then North Star is he a speedster? Why do I think he's a speedster?
No, actually, yeah, he was a member of Alpha Flight. I was right there. He's got superhuman speed and durability and flight and stuff, and he has light manipulation.
Is he the gay character? He's gay, isn't he? Is he the first
I don't know.
gay marriage in the Marvel universe? I think that's why I remember him.
He does have a twin sister named Aurora, and they do wear the same kind of uniform, I believe. So he was created in 2002. He is
Might
gay.
be thinking of somebody else.
No, you're right. He's gay.
I think that's what I remember about him more than anything. But
oh, okay. He got married in Astonishing X-Men 51, and I didn't know it was him. But like when I flipped through my Astonishing X-Men collection, I never really go too far past the Warren Ellis run. But I always like, I like the Greg Pak, Mike McCone run, and after that there was like a wedding issue, and I guess it was his wedding to some guy.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I remember. I think it was like one of the first gay marriages in comic books. That's why. Something like that.
So he's pretty, but it looks like a female that's going to join the team. Maybe it's a sister. Who knows? Everybody's guessing like crazy, but it's a pretty cool team. I don't think Mark Guggenheim's doing anything cool with Nightcrawler and X-Men Gold, so I'm happy he's heading over to the Red Team.
Yeah, he's like a bit player in that book. Well, I haven't read it in a
really
long time because I don't enjoy it much. But
nothing really happens with anybody in that book. I mean, Kitty does some stuff. I'm just not a big fan of that book. It's not awful or anything. It's just like mediocre. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
Totally shitty. It's not fantastic. It's okay. You know, if you got time to kill and you're all out of books to read, yeah, give it a shot. But you know, I guess it's take it or leave it. Some people, when I read the letters column, there are people who just go absolutely ape shit over it, and then there's a YouTube show I watch where they talk about movies and comics and stuff. And one of the guys on the show says it's one of the best runs he's read since the Claremont run. So
yeah, I'm not there.
I'm not there either. I don't know what the fuck. But I think Namor being on the team is pretty cool because we haven't
that's
seen
a cool
Namor
twist.
in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is cool because he is a mutant. So the first mutant, actually. And but yeah, that's cool. A lot of people are speculating that Wolverine, all new Wolverine, might be canceled because her and Gabby are in this book. But you know, Tom Taylor's being a little cagey about it. But you know, he, in his own little cagey way, he keeps trying to tell people that it's not going to be canceled. So he says he's got issues written all the way to 32, and he plans on writing more. So if it does happen, it's not going to happen until mid or late next year. But it might not. Who knows? Up in the air. So I got another news story, and this is the second and last one. Last week, we got a big announcement from DC Comics, and I know what you're thinking. This is a fucking Marvel podcast. Why the fuck are you talking about DC? Well, it was announced that after 18 years of faithful, loyal service, Brian Michael Bendis will be leaving Marvel and signed a multi-year, multifaceted, whatever the fuck that means, exclusive deal with DC Comics. So no more Bendis after, you know, he finishes his big stories that he's got going on, like the Search for Tony Stark and, you know, the new Kingpin in New York story that he's got going on in Defenders.
Even be till like the middle of next year, it feels like almost.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it won't be till the middle of next year till he's gone from Marvel, and it'll probably be like a month or two beyond that before he starts writing at DC, unless he's, you know, already got his book squared away and he's going to be doing it on the side, and this way he can just start going right away. But I mean, that was the X-Men Red stuff was a really cool news story, but it wasn't as interesting as Bendis at leaving Marvel after 18 years so abruptly. Like, because you know, before Legacy started, he had all these big, huge storylines starting, with the exception of Spider-Man, because I just don't think he really cares when it comes to that book. He just seems so fucking bored. But when it comes to Defenders and Iron Man, he had like these really big stories planned that seemed like they'd go on for a long time, and Jessica Jones. And I just didn't see him leaving Marvel. It just never got that feeling. I just get the feeling that something like happened that made him want to leave. I don't know. Maybe he's just really bored. I mean, it shows in his Spider-Man book that he's really bored, but it's just weird after so long just to like abruptly get up and go.
Yeah, I'm not really sad about it. I'm just afraid they put him on a Batman book over at DC, and then I don't want to read that anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, the thing I think about it is like, when you look at Defenders, like most of his books are very uninspiring, and they're not as exciting as his older stuff. Like I used to be a big fan of his. I love his Daredevil. I love his New Avengers. I love a lot of the stuff he's done, but like the stuff he's done in the past few years has been like so to like crappy, you know, especially when it comes to Spider-Man. Like after Secret Wars, Spider-Man just took a fucking nosedive. It's like he didn't know what to do with the character. But so when he gets excited about something, or when something is fresh and new, he will put his all into it. So I am kind of curious to see what's going to happen when he goes over to DC Comics, because he might do something worthwhile, because he's definitely, you can tell he's definitely fucking bored at Marvel, and he's written every character they have. Like, I don't think there's a character, even in his Avengers titles, he had all like a ton of different members. I don't think there's a character he hasn't written. He's written a Moon Knight book, Daredevil book, all the Avengers, you know, even Iron Fist and Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, like any character you could possibly imagine he's written. So, you know, he's pretty much done everything he could possibly do. At this point, it probably would be fucking boring for him. But I think it's good news for Marvel, because now we can get some new blood in, or, you know, I don't know, I think it was Alex Alonso said that they're going to have an announcement down the line of like, not exactly a replacement for him, but some writers or writer that they're bringing in, and supposedly it's like a big secret or whatever. But we'll see. But I think they got a pretty good team without him, and I think that's cool, because I'd like to see Ed Brisson on Defenders. That would be fucking dope.
Yeah, I don't know how
Rosenberg or
continue. I think he might just wrap it up, and that'll be the end of that book.
I I hope someone else takes, because David Martin, none of his artists. I was hoping that his artists might like head over to DC because some of them are so great. I'd like to see them draw DC characters because I've seen them draw enough Marvel characters. But they're all staying. So Pacelli, Marquez, Malieve, even though they only work with him, they're staying at Marvel. So I'd like to see some of these writers because none of them have never not worked with Bendis. Like I've never seen Marquez pencil for a book that Bendis wasn't writing. I've seen Malieve, but not in the past years, not since like maybe Daredevil. I've never seen him pencil anything that Bendis didn't write. And same thing for Sarah Pacelli. So I'm excited to see who's going to be writing books with them on art because they're all exclusive to Marvel. So, and I like Defenders, and I think they have some writers there that could do some good jobs. And I think they have some writers there that could really do Spider-Man really well. Like I think either Matthew Rosenberg, given his Secret Warriors book, which is really fun and funny, and I think that tone of that book is what Spider-Man needs. I think he could do a great job over there, and I also think David Walker could do a great job on Spider-Man. So we get some really good writers on these books that have been sucking. So I'm excited that he's gone. Sorry, Bendis, but I wish you all the luck.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wish you would stop writing comic books. Personally, is my thought about this. But
I'm reading his Moon Knight right now, actually, and I really
you can go do independent stuff that I don't read much of anyway.
I really enjoy it. That's an interesting thing too. It's a little bit of news, actually. Now that you mention it, it just popped up in my brain. They hit all of his icon stuff for Marvel, like Brilliant and Powers and all the books that he was working on that he takes forever, like Scarlet and all that. They all went away from the digital market and like Comixology and everything. So the day he announced his deal, they all disappeared. So you can't like buy them. If you have them, you could still read them, but you can't buy them digitally anymore from like the Marvel app or Comixology. Like they were taken off the site by Marvel. So I mean, I know he full out owns the rights to those, so I don't know if he's going to take them over to Vertigo, but they don't really fit the Vertigo imprint, So I don't know what's going to happen with that. Maybe he's going to take them over to Image or something. We'll see what happens. But all those books are gone.
Yep.
But that's it. That's the news.
All right, so we're going to wrap up the news here. We're going to send you guys off to book section number 1. We're going to kick it off with Daredevil 595, followed by Gwenpool 22. We're doing the books in alphabetical order this week. So we got M section coming up in section 2 there. But yep, book section 1 coming right up.